What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your boy Russ, and I got little Russ in here sneaking around or something. I think he's army crawling, trying to escape you guys, bro. He got Chance balling in the house. George Miller said, "Wee, Chance, Russ, the Tar Heel." What's up, brother? Got my man Preston Old Faithful in the house. Is the spooky voice on? Not just the music, bro. Just the music. Preston said, "I'd love a victory at UVA. Wouldn't we all?" Scott said the heel season is a nightmare. It has been. It has been. But guess what? Come Saturday, baby, we're going to at least take one step in the right direction of righting this ship. We got 10 in the house right now, man. I appreciate you guys joining me on this Thursday night. If I look tired, it's because I am. It was a long, stinking day, bro. And then my wife brought me home some Panda Express, so I'm sitting there wolfing it down, trying to get caught up and get everything situated so that we can have a decent show. We're not going to be too long tonight. And I think I can't even remember what it's called. It starts with a B. It's some new flavor that they got or something. And I'm sitting there wolfing it down, and I don't even realize that I had consumed, like after chewing it for a minute, I consumed just crazy hot pepper, dude. So my tongue is numb. I feel like my eyes are stinking baggy. And, but we'll stick and get through it, dude. Scott said, "I've heard the same thing every week. No disrespect." Hey, you guys pulled one out against Cal. I mean, basically that was y'all's Minnesota because they gave you one by missing a give me. But, sometimes you need some stinking luck, bro. Sometimes you need some luck. Preston said, "Did you see the IC thread alluding to the fact we've already played our toughest games?" I did. I very much did, man. I very much did. And, it is kind of interesting that now all of a sudden, the idea is that, this is downhill for Carolina, right? We're downhill. Now that we've played the tough part of our schedule, which is really comical if you think about it, dude. I mean, just saying that is a joke. At Minnesota, Charlotte at home, North Carolina Central at home, at Duke 8 miles down the road, hosting Pitt, hosting Georgia Tech. Which one am I missing in there, bro? I know I'm missing one, but it hardly sounds like a stinking gauntlet. It hardly sounds like this 3-4 record that Carolina should have. And now, JMU. Thanks, Rec. I appreciate you, pal. I did forget that one, didn't I? Good night, man. My mind is trying to block that thing off. It was so stinking bad. But anyway, yeah, man. So 3-4, bro. 0-3 in the conference. None of us expected to be here, dude. But I would say that I think we could all agree, Carolina fans, that even those that were without, with everything that's transpired this season, the bye week came at a perfect time, man. Sometimes I kind of forget, a lot of teams go through ups and downs and they go through, tough things throughout the season. But Carolina has kind of particularly been on the crappy side of luck, if you will. I mean, Randy Clements, gets sepsis, so we don't have an offensive line coach for the whole stinking year, and we got a brand new offensive line, so that doesn't help. Then, Max Johnson has a horrific leg injury in week 1 out in Minnesota. We're trying to break in Connor. It's just not working. We get Jacoby in there. And then as soon as we get Jacoby going, our best defender, Kamen Rucker, has to have surgery. So then he's out 3-4 weeks. And you could tell during the Georgia Tech game as Jamal Haynes is scooting up the stinking middle that he wasn't healthy. And he's saying that he's 100% now, so it'll be interesting to watch Ruck play against Virginia. But, and then obviously you have the unfortunate, Ty Lee Craft situation, man. And just so many things have happened this season, bro. It really has been stinking crazy. It really has been stinking crazy. And the bye week came at the perfect time. And, I am really hoping that this team was able to do some self-reflection, kind of put some things into perspective. I hope that they were able to, enjoy is not the right word, because it's never enjoyable to go to a friend's funeral. But, just, get some things taken care of that they needed to mentally, and then come back here and, focus on the task at hand, man. And that is to finish this season strong. Preston said Rec Talk hung out. His crew was awesome. That's super cool, man. I love that, Preston. I really do, man. Rec's a good dude. Obviously, I've hung out with you a couple of times, man. And, I really appreciate you guys, man. It's super cool that you guys were able to meet and have a good time. Glad to hear it, man. Antron said, what's up, brother? How are we doing? Hope we get this big W heading into the season. We need one. 5 games left, man. Do the Heels have other significant injuries? Kind of bumps and bruises, Scott. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, man, significant. Aside from obviously the, Max obviously being out for the season, man. Scott said the pack is hurting. Our bye week is right on time, too. Yeah, so, I mean, seeing what you guys do and what we do, bro, we might be playing the Super Bowl on November 30th to see who goes bowling. But you guys got a big W, man. We got to return the favor because, Carolina, it's in front of them, bro. It's thinking in front of them. There's no other way to put it. I mean, the schedule is downhill from here, and it's not that it was uphill. It's just, now it's like really down here. 2-game sprint at UVA, at FSU, hardly a gauntlet. I do believe that we should be able to take care of business. And if we don't, once again, that's sad. It really is stinking sad. But, we really don't know what the hell we're going to get from this football team this year. So you can't just look at stars. I think that we've definitely seen that, man. Remaining schedule, Scott, we got at UVA, at FSU. Preston with the 20, bro. Hey, man, I appreciate you, brother. Of course, man. You already know your boy is going to stink and take care of his people, man. I love North Carolinians. And I appreciate the 20, man. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate you. Love you, man. Looking forward to seeing you here in a couple weeks, Preston. So remaining schedule for Carolina, at Virginia, at Florida State, bye week. Then we host Wake Forest, 38th birthday, your boy. So I'll be celebrating up there with Preston. And anybody else, man, that wants to come and hang out, bro, yeah, it'll be greatly appreciated. Looking forward to putting some faces to some names. And then Carolina heads to Boston College, and then they host NC State and Chapel Hill in the last game of the year. So hardly a gauntlet, bro. Should be I can see 3 wins in there, despite how bad Carolina's played. And like I said, if we don't get bowl eligible, it will be one of, if you ask me, one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of Carolina football. That's just my personal perception when you look at all the graduates and the seniors on this team and all the 4- and 5-star guys. So Anyway, that's kind of the intro, man. You guys be thinking about the things that you want to talk about real quick. We're almost 12, 13 minutes into this thing. Let me go ahead and get some admin stuff in, and then we'll open up the phone lines because I really want to hear Hutch. Oh, my goodness gracious, bro. 49. Hey, Hutch, man, I appreciate you, brother. I really do, man. Let me get you up here on the stinking top. My man, Hutch. I hope you're doing well, bro. If you want to know about Pitt football, Hutch 76K is the dude, man. He called in during the Pitt Carolina game, the call-in show. And when I tell you, man, we all left more intelligent than before that call. Hutch is the stinking man, And I was able to talk to him for a little bit too, man. So really good dude. Really good guy, man. And I appreciate you so much, Hutch, man. I really do, bro. You did not have to do that, my friend. But I appreciate you. I guess I owe you a beer now, Hutch. We were talking about that earlier, man. So I appreciate you. Cannot thank you enough, brother, for your generosity and kindness, man. So anyway, I think that's my son banging on stuff. My kids, man. I apologize, guys. But Hutch said he's doing good. Watching Pitt up 17. I know I was just actually checking. It was 10-0 last time I saw. Yeah. Looking forward to hearing from you, Hutch. So anyway, let's get into this admin stuff real quick. Weather for the Charlotte game. It's going to be 69 at kick. Obviously 12 o'clock kick, CW Network. Winds north at 6 miles per hour. Should be a nice little breeze and everything like that. So partly cloudy to sunny. I cannot imagine that that's not going to be a wonderful game to stink and sit at Scott Stadium and watch, man. One day I'm going to get up there to Virginia, too, and watch a game up there because I've heard that Scott Stadium's a pretty awesome place, even though your boy does not like Virginia. Now, uniform combo, if you haven't already, man, I put out a little short video about this because I was super excited. Super excited about this, bro. Unbelievably clean. Unbelievably clean, bro. Carolina goes with the retro away uniform. I was thinking that they were just going to go with the top and bottom, being the white breeches and everything, and they pull out the stinking retro Carolina blue breeches too with the white stripe and the blue navy on the side. Imagine if Carolina was as good as they should have been. Imagine being 6-1 or 7-0 right now, bro. And then they pull out this stinking uniform. Good night. That would have been stinking fire. I would have been in my stinking man room doing jumping jacks and cartwheels and stuff like that. But nonetheless, this is an outstanding stinking look. And I'm super excited to watch Carolina come out here in these uniforms, man, because this is classic Carolina football, bro. And it really does make me think of 96, 97 when, Carolina actually had something stinking going on. And it seemed like it was going to be, tangible, man, like something that we could hold on to for a while. And then stinking Mac left. And, there's two sides to that story. It's me, Stephanie said, beautiful, beautiful stadium. Yeah, that's what I've heard. That is what I've heard. So, just quick notes, man. Like I said, it has been a super long day for me, and then we'll open up these call lines so that I can get you guys' aspect of this game, get some score predictions in. Remember, $200 score prediction contest. So you call in, you predict the correct score. Your boy's going to send you $200 cash, but you have to call into the show. So we only got 10 people in right here right now, so it doesn't look like your competition is going to be very stiff. But my personal perspective from this football game is that, Anthony Calandria is a pretty daggum good quarterback. Actually, let me think and get my face back up here. I'm over here talking to you guys. My apologies. Anthony Calandria he's got the ability to put some points on the board, man. And that includes, being able to throw to Malachi Fields. So it's going to be very interesting. The Cave Wizard may win. Hey, I tell you what, speaking of the Cave Wizard, where's it at? Here. Now, this came from a mountain, apparently in western North Carolina. So if he doesn't win this time, I'm going to make a video throwing this into the St. Johns River. And, good luck for the Wiz finding any Carolina fans out here, down here in Florida, dude. So he better stinking come through in the clutch this time. He picked Carolina, so it's got to be good for something. But, yeah, man, this stinking football game, dude, it's going to come down to me from, we're going to be a beautiful team with those uniforms. But this thing, we cannot get cute, bro. It's time to get down, back to the basics, run the damn football, shorten the game, keep your defense off the field, and inside the 20, dude. Inside the 20, somebody get in Chip Lindsey's inbox and say, run the damn ball, bro. 28 needs his touches, and he needs more touches than less touches. The end of the Georgia Tech game was an absolute stinking calamity. Inside the 10, with over a minute to play and timeouts in your pocket, and arguably the best running back in the entire country does not touch the damn football. It still boggles my mind. And, people get paid millions of dollars to make those stinking calls. And, then there's the rest of us who are sitting here watching it on TV, trying to pull out the little hair in our beard that we have. But Big O's got to touch the rock, man. Big O has got to touch the rock. And this comes down to daggone running the football and stopping the damn run. I know that UVA is not some juggernaut on the ground. But even if Anthony Calandria throws for 350, okay, and they get 2 or 3 touchdowns in the air, you're still talking about 20, 21 points if you can just, stop the run. That's it. That's 350 total yards. You keep them under 400, and I think you got a shot to win this football game. Just stop the run, bro. Commit to stopping the daggum run. Put Marcus Allen over Malachi Fields' head because he's a little bit bigger. Get a safety to stink help shade to him at least pre-snap. That way Calandria's looking elsewhere. And I'm telling Calandria, bro, you're gonna have to throw for 400 to beat me because we're not gonna let you run the football. We gotta stop letting everybody run down our stinking throat, bro. Gotta stop letting everybody run down our throat. Stephanie said Tar Heels won last year against Virginia. No, they didn't. No, actually, it was one of the worst losses in program history because we were undefeated and ranked number 10 just coming off of the Miami win, feeling good about ourselves. And then UVA walks in. The crowd doesn't show up. The fans don't show up. The students don't show up. It's stinking dead in there. And next thing you know, we're handed our stinking L. Rec Talk said I have 9 hairs in my beard to match that 9 brain cells in Colin's head. I mean, I tell you what, bro. A defensive coordinator that can't understand and grasp the concept of, commit to stopping the run. That's all I want you to do, bro. That's all I want you to do. I just want you to commit to stopping the run. Is that too much to ask, man? Is that stinking too much to ask? What happened after you lost to UVA last year? Yeah, we lost to Georgia Tech out in Atlanta. Thanks for bringing that up. Which, you know what? That one doesn't even, hurt as bad. The UVA game was unacceptable. Losing down there in Atlanta at the time, we felt like that shouldn't have happened. There should have been enough juice. You should have been pissed off enough about after the UVA game to not let that happen. But losing at Georgia Tech was not as bad as the UVA game. The UVA game was like the beginning of the end, and we never bounced back after that, bro. Never, because it was UVA. Georgia Tech, then I think we stink in slow-rolled Campbell for a little bit. Then we beat Duke in their third-string quarterback in double OT at home. And it was rigged. I hear you, bro. I hear you. I hear you, man. But, so yeah, man. Got to run the football. Got to stop the stinking run. And this is going to be real simple, bro. Big O, Big O, Big O. I cannot say that enough, man. You can look pretty all stinking day, but don't get too stinking cute, man. Give it to your guy. Get downhill, run the damn football. And with that being said, man, the phone lines are going to be open. Give me a call, man. Let me know what you think about this football game. Let me get a score prediction. If you got a funny story or something that's happening in life right now that you want to share with the stinking people, let me stinking know. I'm going to try to think of something that I can without getting in trouble. We'll see. We got one, baby. Give me 1 second to get over there. You're on the phone with Russ. Who am I speaking to?
Russ, it's your boy Hutch the Yinzer, man. What's going on, man?
Hey, Hutch, my stinking man, dude. What's up, brother?
Nothing. Calling in, man, to talk a little football. I wanted to give a huge amount of love to University of North Carolina, Tar Heel Nation. I was at the game 2 weeks ago for the Georgia Tech game. First time I've ever been to Keenan. Made the decision to go there based on, two factors. And one of my best friends is a former All-American at TCU and trained Aiden Burr, who's a starter at Georgia Tech. And I went to see Aiden play. But the other one is the, Keenan Stadium's open to the public. So, the Friday before the game, man, I got to give you all an A+ for hospitality. Parked my car right next to the stadium, my rental car. And
right.
Walked myself right into Keenan Stadium, put my shoes on, put air in my footballs, and they had the Allstate Good Hands and Nets up for me.
Really?
To go out there and kick field goals.
So you didn't even
Keenan,
have to go out there and start climbing bleachers and stuff to get your
balls
balls
man.
back.
Like, I literally walked through a gate. I want to say on the east side of the stadium.
Yeah.
Walked down the aisle and out onto the field, and nobody said a word, man. And
that's
I was out there for probably 2.5 hours, man.
That's awesome, man.
Old man, 47 years old, hit a 52-yard field goal, man. Still
Look at him.
I sent you the video, bro. So
I know.
It's legit, man.
I know, bro. You were thinking getting a hold of it, man. I was like, good night, man. You still have 4 years of eligibility, right?
No, I don't, man. My eligibility's long gone, brother, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Until I change my name and I'm Hef Jutchison from Finland. I'm a Swedish exchange student, Hef Jutchison. I come to America to kick a football.
I like it. It, bro.
Yeah, but amazing, man. And I've had the honor, to I've played at AT&T Stadium. I've had the privilege to kick at the Ball Center at TCU and the bubble at Texas and countless other places. War Memorial Stadium at Wyoming, which is my favorite Group of 5 stadium. Again, also open to the public. Keenan's one of my favorite places I've ever been, man. Can't
That's
explain
super
it.
Cool,
it's
man.
just can't explain it. It's just amazing. I couldn't ask for a better day. Amazing place. The pines that surround that stadium, man, it's different. It just hits different.
I like it, man.
Magnificent place.
I like it.
Love
Football
it.
and the pines, man. And it's awesome to hear that
man.
from an outsider too, because of course we love it, but for an outsider, bro, that's awesome to hear, man.
Absolutely gorgeous. And then I went to the game. Outstanding environment. Had an outstanding time. Great game to watch, and just can't say enough good things about Chapel Hill, about the university. And you already know, we've talked about it. I love the state. I dated a girl that I wish I was married to. She's from North Carolina. I've been all over to love it. So, just wanted to give them much love to North Carolina, and I got to give a little bit of love to NC State because I did send you the video of I did go to the NC State Syracuse game, because I got a ticket and went, and the next day I went and I kicked on their field, and that was a little more complicated. I had to find a little entrance where the Hispanic cleanup crew had opened the gate, and I'm like, okay, it's open. I'm gonna go in here. But a great trip all around, man. So I want to call in and show love to Tar Heel Nation. And I did show you respect, man. I wore a North Carolina shirt. I went and bought one that morning.
My dude.
I did have my blue and gold pit colored holder.
Yeah.
But I did wear the North Carolina shirt, man. But
my man.
Second part of this call, man, honestly, man, is like you said, from an outsider, I kind of wanted to give you my, kind of thoughts going forward for North Carolina.
Give it to me, bro.
And I'm going to try to keep this as succinct as possible, and then I want to hear your rebuttal. Like I'm 47 years old, man, and I've been watching college football since I was 5 or 6. So, 41, 42 years of watching college football. And I love it. It's my passion. It's like field goal kicking. There's no reason for an old man like me to still got on fields, but I love it more than just about any damn thing. And a bad day on a field like Keenan is better than a good day doing anything else. So, from an outsider, it's one of those things like growing up, I always wondered, and I never could really understand why Carolina wasn't a consistent top 15 program. Geographic location, the amount of recruiting base that they have. And, I just sort of understood that I sort of assumed, I'll put it this way, that they're just content with being a basketball school. And to me, that's like un-American, because like where I'm from, dude, it's like, that's like akin to communism, dude. It's like where I'm from, football comes up out of the ground. And now I live in Central Texas, where it's like football truly is religion, dude. It's a way of life.
Right.
And, and I look at North Carolina, and I'm like, you have 11 million in your state, whereas I more understand it for Kansas, where it's sparsely populated. You don't produce any D1 talent. And to a lesser extent, Indiana, it's the same thing, where you don't produce a ton of Division I talent. So, in North Carolina, I'm like, dude, what's the deal, man? So that being said, I'm going to start off by explaining to you what I think isn't going to work for Carolina and what I think is going to be their best course in the future to be a consistent 10-11 win team. And I'll start with saying I think that the worst thing that Carolina can do, and you touched on it during, I think, the aftermath of the Pitt game, where, you're saying you hope they go to the SEC. And I'm like, I think that's the worst thing that can happen to that program. And here's why. I think the proof of that resides about 200 miles south of you in the fake Carolina, where the Gamecocks, the Gamecocks, sorry, not the Gamecocks, the Gamecocks.
I got you.
They've been in the SEC since, 92, and their record, they're 111, 155, and 1 in that time period. They haven't won a conference title since 1969, when they were still in the ACC. And you look at them, and it's like Carolina is a better brand than South Carolina.
Yes.
But South Carolina is a better football brand. Not even so much brand, they're a better football school. And what I mean by that is I went to the game 2 weeks ago, and, it's like I think a lot of Carolina fans thought Halloween came early, and their costume was empty seats. There were 10,000 of them.
Right.
And you're 3-3 against a conference opponent in a great game you can't ask for better weather. It's 75 degrees and pure sunshine. And as much as I got a buddy of mine, he's an old 19 kilo, was at Jackson, met his wife when he was in Columbia, and he's now Captain Cock. Mm-hmm. And for what I will say for Carolina, the fake Carolina, they're 3-5, and that stadium's packed.
I know, man.
Packed. They're packed. And they're playing that, whatever that, they do that crap, and then the cock noise and whatever. If I'm a recruit, that's what I want to play in front of.
Yeah,
I don't want to
100%.
play in front of people where we're 3-3 and people are wondering when basketball season starts when we got 6 games to play.
Yeah.
That's inexcusable to me. I'm sorry, I can't comprehend that. So that's part of it. And the other one I will say is, like I said, I live in Texas now. I've been sadly, I've been in Austin for the last 13 years. And when I got here, it was early 2012, and that was when A&M was going into the SEC. And if you know anything, A&M, if you combine the hate that you have in basketball for Duke, Russ, and you add the hate you have for NC State in football, and you multiply it by 1,000, that's how much Aggies hate Longhorns. That's how much literally anybody in the state that isn't Texas hates the Longhorns.
Right.
And when they went to the SEC, it was they lorded it over their heads that, like, look, we're going to take every single recruit in this state that is an elite 4- and 5-star recruit because they want to play in the SEC. Mm-hmm. We're going to own you in recruiting. And to a degree, they did. Like, you look at even when they had Kevin Sumlin, they had top 10 classes. And then they go and they get a national championship winning coach in Jimbo Fisher, and they're pulling consistently, I think, the last top 5, and I want to say the last 3 or 4 of the last 5 years, they had top 3 classes.
Mm-hmm.
They're 56 and 45 in the SEC.
Yeah, that's very true, man.
Okay. Elon has as many titles, SEC titles, as Texas A&M. Western Carolina has as many SEC titles as Texas A&M. UNC Wilmington has as many SEC West titles as Texas A&M. And to put that in perspective, I don't think that people kind of realize where Texas and Texas A&M are the beneficiaries of the University of Texas system in West Texas in like the 20s discovered oil. And that oil brings in billions.
Right.
Okay, so every year, and at the last time I read, it was 2018, Texas got $625 million from that oil in West Texas.
Yeah.
Texas A&M had like 325 or 335 million. So it's not a matter of money. Like, these schools are drowning in money. And you look at Texas, like, I got a buddy of mine. Guy's like a brother to me. Guy played at Texas. He's an absolute, Texas homer. And a side note, it's funny because, like, when I first met Tony, he played running backs there from 96 to 99. I asked him, I was like, hey, like, just out of curiosity, who else recruited you? And he's like, the entire Big 12. Like, I had in the SEC West, I had Arkansas, LSU, and Texas A&M, Arkansas. And I was like, what was your number 2 school? And he's like, oh, North Carolina. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I went on my recruiting visit, and he's like, I love Coach Brown, and I fell in love with that campus, and I thought I had a good chance to start, good chance to play early.
Right.
And the only thing that stopped me was he's a South Texas kid. His parents are first-generation immigrants from Nicaragua. And he's like, my parents couldn't fly to see me play. They, my dream was to play for Texas, but it was a tough decision. And it's funny because, like, when Mac took the job at Texas, Tony told me, he's like, yeah, he's walking through the weight room one day and he just looks at me and he goes, hey, I got you anyway, and walked away.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you what you have at North Carolina. You have a campus that is so amazing. You have a kid questioning himself whether I'm going to give up my dream which was to play for Texas and go to this school.
Right.
So you have something that's attractive to recruits. And if you look at it, you're in fertile recruiting grounds. North Carolina produces a ton of talent. South Carolina, per capita. I remember reading something not long ago that if you look at per capita recruits, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi to Louisiana are the 5 highest producing states of Division I football talent per capita in the country.
Right.
And if you add that, you now throw in Florida, which is only reduced because of the amount of it's like Texas. It's just because the population is so big that per capita it doesn't measure up to those lower population states.
Right.
You have the ability to draw incredible talent.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, North Carolina's done that. So has Texas A&M, and they've not prospered from it. So where do you go? And my take on it is if you look at it, North Carolina needs to hire a coach. And you need to hire a coach that kind of comes from the old school. And I mean that in the respect that you look at why was Nick Saban successful? Yes, Saban is a defensive mastermind. As a guy who, I coached small college football, played college football. He's a guy that I've looked up to. And, yeah, he is. He's very, very innovative in his defensive schemes. But literally why do his teams produce is because he doesn't coddle these kids.
Amen, brother.
Okay.
Amen.
It's this is what's expected of you. You are going to perform. I'm going to find someone that replaces you.
Yes.
And, to a lesser extent, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a propaganda piece. It's, the Untold on Netflix, The Swamp Kings with Urban Meyer. And it literally is a propaganda piece that ignores all of his shortcomings and the fact that they were basically a bunch of felons under him. Mm-hmm. But one thing that I did take from it is when he got there, he inherited a bunch of soft players from Ron Zook. And these were a lot of kids were those 4- and 5-star players that didn't think they had to work. So his thing was like, guess what? Your ass isn't going to the bar on Saturday. At midnight, you're going to be in the weight room, and you're going to lift from midnight to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm going to develop you into an SEC caliber player.
Right.
And what that yielded was two national championships in 06 and 08. So you need that sort of mentality.
Yeah.
Going forward. Yes, it's great to have someone like Mac who can recruit. It's great to have someone that's personal that can bring those kids in. But I'll tell you this, man, and Russ, I'm sure you've seen it. A lot of these 4- and 5-star kids are pussies. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to. They're gigantic pussies.
You see my head nod, bro.
A lot of them don't pan out, and that's why. And
Right.
it's sad for me because I look at a lot of these kids, and I truthfully don't believe that they love football. I think if they could be famous and have clout and attention and validation, being a YouTuber, being an Instagram, whatever, being a mumble rapper, they would do it. It's just the fact that football brings them attention. That's why they're here.
Right.
And you're not going to win games. You're not going to win championships with kids like that.
Right.
So I would rather have a team full of a bunch of 2- and 3-star players that have a chip on their shoulder, that nobody recruited me, and I'm going to show the world what I am.
Right.
As opposed to a bunch of prima donnas, you know, and I go back to, like I said, I'm a Pitt fan, and Pitt's not been the greatest of programs, but you look at some of the kids they've recruited that were 2- and 3-star prospects that became studs that have led that team to ACC titles. And I go back to, I used to buy all of the, the Lindy's, the Street and Smiths, the Sporting News. And I remember vividly when Jerry Kill was the head coach at Minnesota, they would do a little blurb in each of the team previews. And it was a rival coach sums up or sizes up your program under the condition of anonymity. And they sized up the Minnesota program like, they do an outstanding job of recruiting kids that fit their system. He's like, you throw in the film and you look at it and go, damn, why didn't we recruit that kid?
Yeah.
Carolina going forward, I think you need a coach that has that old school mentality that's going to get kids that fit a hard-nosed, tough approach.
Right.
And honestly, man, going back to the whole South Carolina thing, why I think it's even a worse thing to go to the SEC is that you're competing not only with the juggernauts of the football programs of Tennessee, of Alabama, of Georgia, of LSU, of Texas every week. You have to deal with the academics. Whereas I remember reading something recently that was Georgia Tech's football team. Rec Talk, you out there, brother? Georgia Tech's football team has a higher average SAT score than the entire student body of South Carolina.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like if that's what you're recruiting against, we're like, yes, I would love to go to North Carolina, but I don't qualify. But I do at South Carolina, or I do at Kentucky, or I do at Mississippi State. That's where I'm going to go. Your academic footprint is more suited for the Big Ten. Now, this is all predicated on, it may collapse where the Big 12 and the ACC collapse, and there's nothing but the Big 75 and then the Southeastern 80 or whatever they're trying to do. I just don't think that that's a solution for y'all going forward.
Yeah.
And
I
that's my take on it, man. And you are someone who is passionate about Carolina. You probably have a lot more knowledge and information about this program than I do, but as an outsider, that's how I look at it. So,
and I appreciate
I want to hear what you have to say, man. My prediction: Carolina wins this one on the road for Tylee Craft. It's going to be 30-24.
30-24.
And honestly, man, I think they can win out. I mean, there's no team on that schedule they are not more talented than.
Right.
I think you got a tricky game tomorrow. I think is your toughest test at Virginia.
Yeah.
I think Boston College is a tricky game just because you don't know what the weather's going to be up there in November.
Right.
But there's nothing that states this team can't get focused and win out.
Yeah,
and
100%.
I'll pose this to you, man. If they do, does that 8-4 win? Let's just say they win 8 games and win a bowl game and are 9-4. Does that keep Mac around? So
it may, but you're not going to get my stinking vote on that. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that as the time comes. But yeah, man, that once again, I'm looking at the totality of the circumstances. Me and you know exactly what's going on here. And, the simple fact of the matter is the games that you've lost, it'd be one thing if you were playing in the SEC and you lost to Georgia and Tennessee and you lost to, another decent team. Maybe you dropped one that you shouldn't, but when you're losing to JMU, when you're losing to, and Pitt's a good team, they're obviously a top 25 team, but you're at the house. You lose to Georgia Tech at the house for the 4th straight year. It gets to the point where it's unacceptable, especially when you have graduates and seniors all over your two deep on both sides of the football. Most of these kids are going to be gone. They're going to be gone, So this was supposed to be an experienced football team that has fallen by the wayside. And, I don't think even if you run the table, dude, and you blow out all 5 teams, you're going to be looking at a completely different North Carolina team next year. And I don't think that he has done anything, not in recruiting lately, not in the product on the field. I think, what is Carolina, 1-7 in their last 8 ACC games? It's something abysmal. And like I said, we're talking about a team that's still on this roster right now has, if I'm not mistaken, 2 of the 3 classes that were top 15 teams. And we're sitting here at 3-4, 0-3 in the Atlantic Coast Conference, not the SEC, the ACC.
Correct.
So, my wife.
No, and I agree with you, brother.
She's trying to clean up my. There it is a little bit. My stinking kids, man.
And that's kind of my point is that you're kind of, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, you're kind of a middle of the pack ACC team
right now,
and you're trying to go and then compete in the SEC.
Well, this would be my caveat off of that real quick, just to kind of answer your question and where I'm coming from as a North Carolinian and a Tar Heel fan. The reason why I so believe that there's a couple of things real quick that I think would benefit North Carolina in the SEC. One, kids want to play in the SEC. And schools like Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, they're constantly coming into the state of North Carolina and poaching our talent. So, if North Carolina is in the SEC, now you can play against the best. You can represent your state. Your parents can come and see you, and you can wear Carolina blue, and you don't have to worry about, this idea of you playing because people will say it's like JV football. I mean, that's really what some people will, it's just not the same. So, and I also believe that if Carolina goes to the SEC, and I think this would be something that could happen in the Big Ten as well, it would generate more excitement in the fan base. I really do believe that from a football perspective. I think that people would get excited. They would show up to Keenan, and they'd be excited at least about watching SEC football. Now, look, I love the ACC. I grew up on the ACC, and it pains me to say these things, but one, we're financially behind the power curve now. NIL is killing us. We don't have the money to compete with half of these schools, even though North Carolina is not in the worst spot because it's a decent brand. It's a good brand, one of the best brands. But the other thing for me, just as a fan, is I love regional rivalries. I want to play Tennessee every year, and I want to play Georgia every year, and I want to play South Carolina every year because I hate those teams because they touch my state. So I would love.
But again, let me ask you this: is it worth the loss of rivalries like Duke and North Carolina State and Wake Forest if those schools are not targeted by the SEC? Whereas, and I'll put it to you, this is a Pitt fan. Like, look, I love the ACC. I've grown to enjoy it, and I enjoy playing y'all. But there's a part of me that, I grew up when Pitt's schedule was West Virginia, Syracuse, Boston College, Virginia Tech, Maryland, all these regional schools,
right,
and Penn State. I mean, it was all these bragging rights games that they don't play anymore.
I know.
I love playing. Honestly, I enjoy playing y'all, but it's like there isn't that bragging rights. It's like, okay, we beat North Carolina. I'm like, great, it's a win, but it's not like It's not like beating West Virginia in the brawl. It's not like beating Penn State, humbling those arrogant bastards. So,
and that's kind of what I'm talking about is, even if we're 6-6, 7-5, I mean, that's what we're going to be anyway in the ACC. If I can get excited about, hey, we're going to whoop up on South Carolina's ass this Saturday, that's much more fun to me than thinking about, hey, we're going up to New Jersey to play Rutgers. I just don't care. It doesn't move the needle.
Right.
Hey, we're going to Illinois and we're going to take on the Northwestern Wildcats, off the lake. I mean, I'm from the South. I want to see us play teams in the South, and occasionally we can go up there, and play a Pitt or play a Boston College or play a Syracuse, specifically for, recruiting purposes and to get your name out there. But, we've gone away from the regional aspect of everything. And, I just, like I said, even North Carolina, it sounds weird to me. Let's say that they go to the Big Ten and North Carolina, is, it'd be fun to go to the Shoe. That'd be pretty stinking exciting. We actually had a home and home with them about a decade ago and they canceled on us. Can't remember exactly why, but going up and playing in the big house, like those would be pretty exciting. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's still Michigan. And what do they have to do with North Carolina?
It's similar to bowl games. It's similar to the way bowl games were when you got these cross-regional cross-regional games where it was like, hey, that's amazing to see North Carolina play Michigan or, things of that nature. And my problem is, and I could go on forever about this, and I'm not trying to, because I don't want to monopolize, your show and your call-in, but I can't stand the conference realignment. I hate it. I loathe it with a passion.
I do too.
It's above all the idiotic uniforms, like we don't wear anything black, but like let's make our uniforms completely black as Kansas or as West Virginia or as any other.
Carolina did that.
Louisville, your Cardinals. Cardinals are red, and we blacked out our uniforms to appeal to the lowest common denominator. Like all these hideous uniforms that look like we let a 9-year-old high on PCP design it for idiots who think black is the height of fucking awesomeness. Like, I'm sorry, dude. It's just like, but again, you have all of these idiots that are, I call them Walmart fans. It's like you want college football to be the worst parts of Major League Baseball, the economic structure, with the NIL, the worst parts of the NFL. Like you want it to be the NFL, then go watch the NFL. Okay?
I agree, man.
And then the worst parts of college basketball where, like, no offense, Russ, I don't care. I'm going to piss off all of Tar Heel Nation. I could not care less about college hoops. I don't.
Yeah.
Let's take every team we can get into the tournament because we're hoping for upsets. I'm sorry, man. It's like football-wise, it was fine. And I'm like, I wasn't a big fan. I'll be a complete, I wasn't a big fan of the 4-team playoff. It worked out better than I thought it would. Right. And I'm like, you kept the bowls, you kept the traditions. You got to understand, man, like, this is the most tradition-rich sport in this country, okay? Princeton played Rutgers 7 years before the National League was founded.
Right.
And you're destroying it for ESPN and Fox having a dick measuring contest as far as money.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, it's pathetic. It's pathetic.
I can't stand it either, bro. I can't stand it either, man.
I'm not a fan of the NIL. I get it. And I had this conversation with my boy Tony, the Texas fan. He was all about it because it's like they have more money than God. I said, look, if you don't cap it, if you don't have a cap on it, you've opened Pandora's box. You're literally going to have schools like USC and Texas and whomever just going and, hey, we didn't recruit this kid at North Carolina or Pitt, who was a 2-star, Jordan Addison. Put yourself in the portal. Here's your $7 million NIL deal.
Right. Yep. Yeah, 100%. You're just going to have teams buying. They're going to be buying. They're going to be buying natties. I mean.
Right. So now it's Major League Baseball where we didn't draft this kid, but hey, he pitched for Kansas City or Pittsburgh for 3 years, and now he's a Yankee, and we gave him a $60 million 4-year deal.
Right.
And that's what it's become.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, man. There's so many issues that are wrong with NIL right now. It is destroying the sport. I'm right there with you, brother. I can't stand conference realignment. The only reason that I'm speaking on behalf of Carolina moving is because of, I feel like we're being left behind. We're already hurting for money. I mean, this is how bad it is. We got BYU, offering the number one recruit in the nation $4.5 million to sign with them for basketball. So we're competing with BYU for basketball, and this kid may end up going there, because they got the bag. And we're talking about you're turning down an offer from the University of North Carolina to play basketball, to go to BYU. I mean, that's the landscape that we're in, man. I can't stand it. If I could just wipe this all away, man. And I love that the kids are able to make money and everything off of their talents, but it has gotten out of hand. And
but right, I mean, it's Pandora's box. When you have a guy like Quinn Ewers who goes to Ohio State and never takes a snap, and he got $2.5 million, never played a snap for that program. Right. It's like, that is indicative of something that is, it's out of control. Like, look, fine, you finally benefited from your name, image, and likeness. Okay, here, you get a $250,000 cap no matter where you go.
Right.
Whatever school you go to, that's the most you're going to make. You don't need more than that. Okay,
right.
And you're getting, in some cases, an education that is worth $400,000. Okay,
right.
I think SMU right now is $95,000 a year.
Right.
So that's just tuition. Now you're throwing in room, board, all these other things. You're getting something that's worth $500,000.
We're on the same page, brother. We are on.
You're
the same
being
page.
compensated.
Yeah, you are.
And it's like, the sad thing is that, you and I are now to the point where we're being labeled boomers. Okay, boom. No, we see where this is going, and it's destroying one of the most iconic American sports out there.
Yeah, and we already have the NFL. I don't need
If you want to watch the NFL and you want pro football, go watch it.
Go watch it, man. Just stop destroying my college football. Yeah, I completely agree, brother.
1,000%, bro.
I completely agree, brother. I completely agree.
So. That's my 2 cents, brother.
We will definitely have this conversation later, man. Because I think probably in the off season, brother, we'll hash it out a little bit more, man, and kind of go a little bit more in depth. I think we pretty much covered everything right there, but it is a fantastic conversation to have, man. And like I said, I appreciate you calling in, Hutch. Hutch said 30-24 Carolina. He thinks that the Heels can win and possibly even win out. And I'm right there with you, brother. I appreciate you again, Hutch, man. Once again, bro, I appreciate you.
I'm going on record, man. I definitely think they can win out, man.
Yes, sir.
One last note, and I'll let you go, bro. Like I said, I got into Carolina. I kicked at North NC State. I tried to go to Duke, and Duke was locked up tighter than Fort Knox. And I remember I texted my brother. I was sitting having a beer at a brewery in Durham, and I texted him, and my brother's I forgot he was a big Carolina fan. I sent him the pictures. I was like, man, here's a video at North Carolina. Here's a video at NC State. I was like, here's the outside of Duke Stadium. I couldn't get in.
Yeah.
And his response was a popular 4-letter epithet, F Duke. I've always been a Carolina fan, F Duke. And I'm like, all right, man. So,
amen.
All right, man. Good luck in this South Oldest rivalry, man. I'll be watching before I go to work. And, hey, Noah Burnett, I need 3 field goals. Let's go. 30-24.
3 of them. I appreciate you, Hutch. All right, brother. Be safe, man. God bless you, man.
Brother.
All right, later.
You too, brother.
That is my man, Hutch. Super good dude, bro. I'm telling you, man. Just thinking, comment to that guy, and he will enlighten you on a lot of things. Extremely intelligent guy, tons of life experience, and I always enjoy talking to Hutch, man. That dude is way smarter than I am. Got another one, baby. You are on the phone with Russ. Who am I speaking to?
Wolfpack fan, Russ. What's going on, brother?
Oh, man. Is it Scott?
This is Scott. You got it, man.
Oh, man. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, man, you didn't take that the wrong way last night about the candy apples, did you, man?
No, man. I'm glad you told me that, bro, because I am getting a little pudgy. All right? Look, And I got to come up there and see my people in about 3 weeks. So I need to start doing some mountain climbers and watching what I eat. And you're right, man. I've let myself go, Scott. I apologize to you.
Hey. I think it might have been what you had on at the beginning of it. It looked kind of tight on you, man.
Yeah, well, I think when I bought that jacket, I was probably 170 pounds, and now I'm close to 190, so I'm filling it out a little bit, brother.
Hey, that's all that good eating your wife's making for you, man.
That's right, man. That's right, brother.
So a couple questions, man. A couple questions for you, Russ, and I won't be long because I get up early, man. So,
Yep.
Has it always been 2 buys during the season?
No, I don't think so, man. I think that has been a little bit more newer now. I'd have to go back and look, but I feel like when I was younger, man, it was 1 bye. There was 1 bye week.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, brother. I'm really not. I mean, maybe they're just trying to give these guys a little bit extra time to rest in the middle of the season. I have no idea, Scott, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because that kind of threw me off, man. My buddy had said something to me the other day about it, and I said, well, let me go check state schedule. And sure enough, NC State has 2 buys. Y'all got 2 buys.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the rest of the ACC teams or the teams across the nation got 2 buys.
I'm sure they do, because everybody's playing 12 football games. So, I'm sure that everybody's on the same page. Everybody's got 2 buys. Carolina just happens to have theirs almost back to back, it seems like. But, I'm not a big fan of the bye week. I understand that it gets people healthy and stuff like that, but as a fan, I can't stand when my team's not playing. So,
well, man, I'm right there with you, man.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to suffer, man, and watch Carolina play, I guess, instead of watching State play.
At least you get to watch somebody pretty. I mean.
That may be, man. I ain't gonna lie, you guys do have some nice colors, man.
Yeah,
I will say.
Yes, sir.
Hey, next thing, man. Did I hear right, man? You guys lost 2 recruits this past week.
2 of them, man. 2 tight ends.
What I thought, man. See, that's what losing does, man, right there.
Yeah. Well, one of them. So. This one's a little bit tough, and I agree with you, but one of them was a kid from Illinois, so Illinois was able to recruit him to the home school state. So this kid was from Illinois. Obviously, Carolina's not doing well. Illinois utilizes the tight ends. He's a tight end, and they're, utilizing the tight ends a lot, which so does Carolina. But I think a couple of things ended up, having him flip to his home state of Illinois, and then the other kid was a Georgia kid who got flipped to Alabama. So, Alabama starts calling, and they got into the game late. So he committed to North Carolina, loved North Carolina, and then all of a sudden Alabama started dangling their crimson and white in front of him. And I guess it was just too good for him to not, because and a lot of people are wondering if Mac is going to be there next year. I do believe that's in the back of a lot of kids' heads now.
Yeah, but Russ, what happens if Alabama has a really bad rest of the year, man?
It's still Bama, bro. It's the name. It's the name. It's the name, man. They can survive.
Yeah.
A 7-5, 8-4 year. They can survive it because we're Alabama, bro. We got 16 national championships. I mean, and they got all the money that they could possibly stink and muster too. So I don't think they're going to be hurting, man. I mean, a bad year for Bama is 8-4, but 8-4 is pretty good around Chapel Hill apparently. So.
Yeah. I want to piggyback what Hutch just talked about, man, and you did, man, about NIL. Why wasn't the reason why Saban left was because of that?
I believe that was a strong part. Yeah, I think story that I heard that kind of set it off real quick was that they had just lost to Michigan in the national championship game, and a kid walked up to him and said, "Hey, coach, they're walking off the field from an L," and somebody asked him, how much money do you think I'll be able to make, here at Alabama next year? And Nick Saban was taken aback by it, bro, we just lost the national championship. Why are you coming to me with this? And that's when he kind of, it started to go downhill from there, where he realized that the game had changed. And it's the same reason why UVA's coach decided to quit on the basketball side of things.
Yep.
Tony Bennett said,
that's why
hey man, I was great for the job before all this stuff right here, and now, unless we do something about it, man, it's destroying college sports.
Exactly. I've said that, man, from the get-go, that the reason why I love college sports, preferably football, is because it was the love of the game, man, not the love of the money.
100%. 100%, brother. 100%.
And let me go ahead and give you my score, man, so me and my chubby cat can go to sleep here.
All right. What you got, Scott?
Score last year was 31-27 VA.
That's correct. Yep.
Same score, Carolina.
Ooh, 31-27 Heels. I like it.
Yeah, I see you guys. I've been saying this, man, for the last couple of weeks. This bowl games will come down between State and Carolina, man.
Yeah. Well, it'll be exciting
when they play each other. That's gonna be who goes to the bowl.
Who goes to the bowl game? Well, I mean, we'll both. Who do y'all got? Y'all got? Oh yeah, y'all got a bye week, right?
We got a bye week, Russ.
Okay. So hopefully hopefully we'll both be 4-4, correct? Yeah, 4-4.
4-4. We got 2 wins to get. I think we can get those. Well, we're gonna be 5-6 against y'all, and that's just my opinion. I may be wrong. But that would be 5-6 teams going for a bowl game. Hey, that'd be a great game to watch.
It's gonna be like that. Would make it kind of Super Bowl-ish. So a lot of crap talking. Yeah.
Hey, Russ, man, I appreciate your show, dude. I'm going to let you go, man.
All right, Scott, I appreciate you, brother. Have a good night, man. Thanks for calling in, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, later. My man Scott said 31-27. He reversed it on me. He stinking reversed it on me. I like it, though, man. I mean, that's kind of like what it seems like a lot of people are hovering around. And I would be okay with that. I mean, if Carolina can hold Virginia in the 20s, you got to feel a little good about their ability to come out on top in this football game. And, we've scored a touchdown on defense. We've scored a touchdown on special teams. We had with a special teams return, we've had a special teams block. So we've scored in different ways as well. So, very interesting that a lot of people are thinking that Carolina might be able to go up to Charlottesville and get a W. Let's see who we got. You're on the phone with Russ. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Russ, it's Bobby.
Hey,
how you doing?
What's up, Bobby? How you doing, brother?
Nothing much. Anyway, I just want to remind y'all, I heard y'all talking about, Carolina going to the SEC and all. I just want to remind y'all what happened to Maryland when they left the ACC.
Yeah, they're
Maryland stinks.
My brother is a big Maryland fan. And I'm talking about the Maryland Terrapins. He watches the Maryland Terrapins like I watch North Carolina. And he's told me, he said, I've already just kind of understood that we're never going to be good here. And so that is a great point, Bobby. That's a great point. Maryland's got all the stinking money in the world, and they are absolutely 100% irrelevant now.
Yeah, and they are. And, that same thing. I mean, I know y'all want to go to the SEC or y'all want the money, right? And everything like that. But how much of a cost though? Because you look at it, you go to the SEC. I mean, if you can't win in the ACC, how are you going to do it in the SEC?
Well, I mean, like I said, man, I think that it's I really do think that a lot of this is predicated off of a mentality. Now will we go to the SEC or the Big Ten and end up being a doormat like Maryland? Well, Maryland's not necessarily a doormat, but it's kind of a lower to middle half, Big Ten team, never really competing for anything. But I would say that Carolina's brand is a little bit different. which may give it a slight leg up. I don't know, man. I mean, you never know until you know. And I mean, here's the thing, Bobby. Here's the thing. It'd be one thing, brother, if we were, 9, 10, 11 win team every year. We're not. We're 3-4.
Yeah.
So you're like, hey, you can be 3-4 in the ACC, or you can be 3-4, or you can be, 2-5 in the SEC. I mean, at least we're stinking making money, and maybe we can keep some talent at home.
Yeah, but you better chance of winning the conference is in the ACC than it will be in the SEC, though.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Now I would have. There's a. I still think that Mac had things going in the right direction for the first 2-3 years, and then it just fell off fast. I mean, I really do believe that Carolina was on the cusp of breaking through for the second time, and we're not there anymore. And Mac's not going to be able to rekindle that. It's already done. That ship has sailed. And that's why I think that we need to move on if we're going to be serious about football, as much as I love him. But once again, there may be some growing pains. However, are we just going to continue to relegate ourselves to a lower, to middle of the ACC team? Because it's the same thing. You're going to go to the SEC and not win. Well, I mean, look at 2024, brother. And I really do think you get the right coach in, you get the fans to buy in because of the conference that you're in. You start to get some more regional rivalries. People have reasons to go to the football game, and that's at least that's my personal perspective. Like I said, I love playing Wake Forest. I love playing Duke. I love playing NC State. And in a perfect world, I'd go back to the 9. I'd bring Maryland back, and I'd have a legitimate old ACC that I grew up with, and everything would be just like it was. But we're falling behind, man. We're falling behind.
Yeah, I know. Money's right. Fuels the colleges, right? You can't go out and get your recruits like you got to weigh money in front of their face to get them come to your school, which I think is a joke, because I think if you're getting 100,000, let me tell you something. I mean, going to these state colleges, even like the NC State or Carolina, especially Carolina probably a little bit higher. You got to pay to go there. Some of these other private schools, man. I mean, you get $100,000, $200,000 a year, education, and it's free, and everything like that. Now you're asking for $2 or $3 million. I mean, on top of that. So I mean, it's a joke.
But you already know, Bobby, that a lot of these kids, man, especially the talented ones, a lot of them are not thinking about education. I'm not saying that all of them, but a lot of them are not thinking about education. They're going to class. They're, I have some family that could attest that the standard is a little bit different for athletes. That went to Carolina. So, these kids, man, they want to go to the league. Even the ones that have no shot in going to the league, that's the pipe dream. And, I don't understand how they get the mentality of not caring, or being more interested in social media and stuff like that. Or, money, if you're trying to ultimately go to the league. But that's just the society that we're in, bro.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know it's rough, man. But I'm gonna get back. You were talking about Mac Brown a while ago, right?
Yeah.
And everything. Before I give you my score, and the reason I give you my score is Matt. He's in Texas, right? He won that national championship in Texas, and everything like that. The reason he got run out of Texas, and one of the reasons he got run out of Texas was because his recruit, because he couldn't get Texas players to come and play for Texas. At the end of a career, And that's what he's doing, exactly what he done in Texas, what he's doing now. He
100%.
can't get the Carolina player to come and play for him,
100%.
just like he did in Texas. Yeah, just like Texas. And if you can't get Texas players to come to Texas, it's time for you to go. Texas Longhorn won't put up with that stuff.
Yeah.
And they showed them the road, say, you got to go.
Yeah.
Right? And when y'all hired Mac Brown, I said, you know, y'all need to should have went with a younger coach, you know, and someone that can recruit, you know, and players coming in saying, well, you know, Matt, he's old, you know, he ain't gonna be around forever, you know.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, you know, is what I've seen it going on, man. I said Mac doing the same thing he done in Texas. Now he can't recruit in North Carolina.
It's falling off. It's falling off.
Yeah, he's falling off.
Because Larry lost all the high schools. Larry stopped recruiting North Carolina, period, and started taking people from all over the country. Mac was actually a good hire in that he repaired a lot of the relationships in the Tidewater, the Virginia area, a lot of the high school coaches in North Carolina. He did start to build a little fence around the state. I mean, we kept Travis Shaw here. We kept good night. I'm having a brain fart, man. It's getting stinking. Good night. Desmond Evans. We kept Desmond Evans here. You know, we started to get the best in North Carolina to stay at North Carolina. But then it just kind of fell through. And now we're not getting that at all. We got you know, KC Concepcion going to NC State. We got Tennessee coming in and, you know, taking the best players out of North Carolina. South Carolina, Georgia, et cetera, because they want to go and play for a team that's going to compete at the highest level. Mac has lost the faith. And, you know, somebody told me, or not, they didn't tell me, but I was listening to a show before you give me your score, Bobby, and they made a really good point. They said Mac Brown is great because Mac Brown has been able to recruit. But when Mac Brown can't recruit, there are 150 other coaches that are better at clock management and X's and O's. So if you're not bringing in the best players, what are you good for, bro? You know, I mean, because there's somebody that can draw it up better than you. It's just not your forte, your cup of tea, if you will. What you do is you get the best players and then you let them go out there and make plays and they win you football games. But if you're not doing that, you're not out scheming people. And we have seen Mac Brown and his coaching staff be out coached year after year after year. And he's in the Hall of Fame, you know?
Yeah. And you know, I know age catches up with you, right? It does everybody, you know, and everything like that. And I think it's now while he's still got, you know, he's on top right now, he needs to go ahead and step down and let a younger man come in there, you know, and do the job.
I agree.
I mean, he's been a good coach, you know. He don't have nothing else to prove. He won a national championship.
I agree.
Just step down and let somebody younger come in. You know, did also, I mean, NC State also was bidding for this. I think Carolina was too. That player I can't think of his name. He's from Grinsley, right? One of the number one players in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. He went to Tennessee. We lost him to Tennessee.
Yep.
You know, because we can't. I mean, the same thing happened to NC State. They can't recruit in North Carolina. I mean, you know, and everything like that. And you know, you've been there 12 years. You know, you've been there 12 years. You know. You should have a 10-11 winning season, you know, and all that. But you just lost the number one player, you know, to Tennessee because you know why? Because y'all can't recruit, you know. So I mean, you know, but yeah, it's a terrible thing, man. But you know, what can you do? I mean, you know.
I don't know, man. I can just make YouTube videos and plead with 17 and 18-year-olds to please stay home.
I don't know. I don't know they'll stay home if we say something.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. I'll slide them a $5 bill or something, man.
No, you know, they'll laugh at us. But anyway, I'm gonna give you my score prediction, and I'll tell you why. I'll give it to you.
What you got, brother?
I think Virginia win this game 28-21. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
I see them now. My son had a football game last Friday night. You know, in the first play, I told one of the guys there, I said they're going to throw the ball responsible pass gonna be first play gonna be a touchdown. Get 13 because they watched the game film, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, that's what happened. They went deep and got a touchdown. Which Carolina, I know they had a bye week and they got a lot of stuff going on, in my respect to the fallen player, they lost. I don't want to see that ever happen.
Right.
And all that, but I know they're coming off a bye week, and I with you, I just don't like the bye weeks. I know it gives people healthy and stuff like that, but what I think Virginia's going to do to Carolina is I think they're going to stack the box. I think they're going to bring 8 in, and they're going to stack that box, and they're going to dare Carolina to throw it because Carolina, they know Carolina got one of the best running backs in the country. They know they're going to hand it off to them, and they're going to stack that box, and they're going to run a safety out, and that safety going to be back there in case they want to throw it. So with Carolina, I think Carolina should come out, and throw little dig routes, like little passes, and let the man get one-on-one and just surprise the heck out of him, come out and just throwing the ball. I know you want him to run the ball as much as you can, but they're going to stack that box. And I mean, they're going to bring 8. They're going to bring the house in that box.
I'm all for it. Hey, man, if they stack the box, man, have a check at the line of scrimmage to get the ball out there quick. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
All for it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that's the way Carolina can beat Virginia is they're going to have to be able to throw the ball. I mean, because they know they're going to stack that box.
Yeah.
And
I just don't want it to get into a shootout because Carolina don't have the firepower to win a shootout right now. I think that what they do have is the ability to shorten the game. And I think the shorter this football game is with a guy like Anthony Calandre and how bad Carolina's defense is, the better it is for Carolina. That's just my personal opinion.
It is, but just like I told my son, I said, your coach is going to have to, come out and surprise them, right, and do something that they never expect it to be done, right? And I think that's what Carolina, instead of slowing the game down, speed the game up. And everything, because they don't expect that. They think Carolina's going to slow it down. They think they're going to run it down the throat, and then maybe pass it here and there. I know Carolina. What is this? The third string quarterback, I believe, Carolina got.
Yep.
So they're not afraid of him. And they're not scared of him because he's a third string, right?
Right.
And that's where you come out and you say, well, you know what? They expect us to slow this game down. Let's speed this game up. And.
Yeah.
And then Carolina defense. I don't know what happened to them. I mean, they're giving up a lot of points, and again with their defense, I tell you, they need the quarterback. He can run a little bit from Virginia. I'll put a spy on him. And I would bring the house. Because Virginia's the same way, man. They're going to try to run the ball, and so. Make that quarterback beat you with his arm, not his legs. I mean that's my ingredient for Carolina to win the game. But do I think Carolina win it? I really don't think. The reason I don't think is just they just have too much going on through the bye week, and they're coming out here, and I know Virginia's going to stack that box, and I know Carolina wants to run that ball, and my biggest fear is they're going to try to run it down the throat, and they're going to stack that box.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough, Bobby. That's fair enough, brother.
Yeah, I mean, the best for your team, I really do, but
yes,
and all that, but they prove me wrong. That's good, but just
that'd be good for me.
Just be, yeah, good for you. I roll in the pick game. I mean, they lost that game. I thought they would win it. So, maybe I call the opposite to win. You be want me to call in all the time, call the opposite.
Nah.
Carolina and, like the other caller said, I mean, Carolina State could be playing their Super Bowl, to get to a bowl game. Hopefully both of them won't have to come down to that. Both of them already be in a bowl game when they meet, but.
Yep.
But if they continue to play like, Southern Cal,
Yeah.
I mean, they threw us a bone.
Yeah, man.
They did. Yeah, I mean, they were lucky. I mean, we were lucky. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, I
yeah.
mean, I mean, man kicked the. I should have been like a point after.
Yeah, Cal was y'all's Minnesota for us, man. We were lucky in that game. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, man.
they threw us a bone. You know, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. So I mean, but I mean, you know, really all the games that both teams got to play this year, all unbeatable. You know, and I mean, we got Stanford next.
Yeah.
You know, and let me tell you something. If Stanford beats us, our coach needs to be running out of town with a paddle.
I hear you, Bobby.
because there ain't no freaking way we at home against Stanford get beat by them.
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
You know, yeah. Oh, and by the way, you said Alabama has 16 national champions. They got 18.
Oh, okay, 18. I appreciate you correcting me. I mean, eventually you just stop counting, bro. We just got a ton of natties, you know.
Well, I mean, you know, I reckon, you know, like you said, Alabama is the name brand.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what player ain't gonna go? I mean, even if Carolina or State go to another conference, even if they go to another conference, I mean, they're gonna have to fight through the still the name Alabama and Georgia, Tennessee, Texas. You know, I mean, they're SEC loaded.
You're right.
You know,
like I said, man, I mean, it doesn't help. You know, in the context of college football right now, it does not help. You know, if you don't have an SEC or a Big Ten patch on your shoulder, man. And that's just, I don't like it. It's not that I don't like that at all. You know, I used to be a huge advocate for the Atlantic Coast Conference, man. I'm talking about I'd be in the middle of an SEC stadium chanting ACC.
Yeah.
But it's a different world that we live in right now, man. So.
Well, you know, even the basketball, you know, we used to be known as the best basketball conference in the country, right?
Yeah.
But now we're not even that.
I know.
I mean,
it's it's the conference, man. It's the conference. I'm telling you, like the SEC is getting better, the Big Ten's getting better. It's because of the name brand, the conference. You know, it's the publicity that they get now. You know, kids want to play in those conferences, man. And, you know, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
you know. I mean, you know, like I say, I mean, you know, we used to be branded, you know. I mean, all the big names want to come play in the ACC, you know, call them, you know, basketball conference, you know.
Used to be that.
And all that. I mean, it stinks the way it's going down. You know,
it does.
And it does. And man, I hate it. You know, I hate it for the fans. You know, but you know, I mean, they're trying to change everything on us, brother. And I don't like it.
I know, bro.
You
all
know,
we can do is think and hang on tight, man, and you know, hope for the best. So.
Well, and I laugh at Florida State and these other teams that want to go to a bigger conference. Florida State want to get out. They want to go to the SEC. If they can't win one game in the ACC, they didn't win nothing in the SEC. Then you know, it's a joke because these teams want out of the ACC, but you know, and I know they want to chase the money, and I get that right. But as a fan, do you want to turn on TV every Saturday and say, oh, man, we got to play Bama. We're going to get a butt stomped. You know, Tennessee going to stomp us.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
I mean, stay live proof of that, man. Look what happened with them in Tennessee. I mean, they went against Tennessee, SEC school. And I'm sitting there. You want out of the ACC and you want to get slapped down like that every Saturday. I mean,
I hear you. I hear you,
so that's. All right, well, I'll let you go, man. But
I
like I say,
you, Bobby.
All right, man. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, brother. Yes, sir. My man, Bobby. Steph said, what's the phone number? 919-590-3514. It's right there on the screen, Steph. 919-590-3514. We got enough time let's get at least one more in here, man. If you want to call, give me a call. Try to make it a little quick. Your boy has got to wake up super early in the morning. We have already gone a little bit farther along than what I initially anticipated tonight, but had some good conversations, man. We got Hutch, 30-24. Scott, 31-27. And my man Bobby said 28-21 UVA. He's the only bad guy tonight. Little catch up, man. Hutch said 31-0 Pitt. Dude, they are smashing them, bro. Is Pitt legit? Can somebody thinking? Can somebody clarify that for me? Is Pitt legit? My brother said Maryland 33, North Carolina 31 on the blue turf at Boise, and the Ruby Tuesday Bowl. You heard it here. Gosh, bro, that, you know what? I would, you know that I would love to stink and play Maryland, and because that would be great for me and you. But I hate that blue field, bro. Gosh, that is not fun to stink and watch football on. I don't care what anybody says. Maryland beat Virginia, no pressure. Yeah, there's tons of pressure on Carolina right now to get a stinking W. Orange Maniac said Syracuse right now is a joke. Yeah, they've been struggling a little bit lately, man. Struggling a little bit lately. Anthony said it's the worst, dude. It really is, man. It really stinking is. Gosh, and you know what would be even worse? Because it's like a royal blue. Bro, watching Carolina blue on top of that, oh, bro. Gosh, that would be horrendous. They would have to wear their white uniforms. There's no way that they could wear all Carolina blue on that ugly field. Gosh, bro, that would be atrocious, man. That'd be bad for TV. That would be bad for TV. Probably it should be illegal. I agree. It's borderline dumb. Maybe that's why how you pronounce his name? Gianti? Maybe that's why that dude's stinking just running stinking wild. His uniform blends in with the turf. Orange Maniac said natural grass is better than any kind of turf. I love grass. I do love grass. I love the smell of grass. But I will say this, man. Carolina's turf is pretty stinking nice. Now, I would rather play on grass. All right, let's get one more in here. You're on the phone with Russ. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Russ. It's me, Stephanie. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Steph? How are you doing?
Doing great. You know, I'm loving your live parties and everything.
I appreciate you. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, but also I am a Tar Heel for life.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm a fan. And listen, I did a typo, so I had to correct that right away.
Okay.
And I had a question to ask, and you said make this brief.
Yes, ma'am.
You guys talk a lot about Mac Brown. So what do you think he can do to bring in the best players? If you could elaborate on that for me.
Well, I tell you what, Steph, honestly, I think that, like I've already said, I really do believe that ship has sailed. I think that he did a really fantastic job of that when he first came to Carolina back in 2019 again, because, you know, he's coming off of 5 years of commentary, being at ESPN, kind of watching football. And, you know, he's like, hey, I've learned a lot since I was kind of pushed out at Texas, if you will. And he was able to convince people, you know, because there wasn't anything tangible that you could point to and say you're not going to be able to get the job done. So Mac was talking about unfinished business. Hey, remember in 96, 97, we only lost to FSU, you know, 20-3. And that team finished 11-1 with a bowl win. They finished, I think, number 4 in the entire country. So Mac is able to point back at that and say, this is what, you know, is the unfinished business. This is what Carolina can be. So then he starts winning recruiting battles. He's able to flip Sam Howell from Florida State, which was huge, last minute.
Right.
He was able to make that a decent recruiting class. And so then Carolina goes from winning 5 football games in 2 years to winning 7 games in the first year and winning their bowl game convincingly when they beat Temple in the Military Bowl. And he's able to convince kids like, hey, listen, you know, we just over doubled our wins in one season and we won our bowl game. We're making this work. So now he starts getting these top recruits coming in. You know, Drake May flips from Alabama. Obviously, he's a legacy at UNC, so that wasn't necessarily the hardest
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
You know, and North Carolina had a couple of really good classes where there was some good talent, and Mac was able to convince them because he did not have the losing that's occurred the last 3 years. Well, now teams they're saying to themselves, or excuse me, not teams, but players are saying to themselves, you know, hey, it sounded good, man, but you guys keep getting 6-0, you know, 7-1, and then you lose the last 5 games of the year, and then you get blown out in your bowl game. It's like, you know, they no longer believe in Mac's ability to make good on the promises that he had. And it stinks, Steph. It does. Because
it does.
I wanted him to get the unfinished business done. And I did believe
Me too.
that he was the guy. And it really is, man. It hurts because you love him. He's a great guy.
He can turn around. You don't believe he can turn around?
Well, I mean, Steph, you got to think the last 3 years we finished 0-4. Right, to finish the season in conference play against Power 5, and then this year, you know, you start off 3 wins, and then you get absolutely embarrassed at home, 70-50 to JMU, and now you've lost.
I was excited
straight.
with those 3 wins. Yeah.
I know.
I was excited.
We all were
excited with that.
We all were, and especially with, you know, how bad this schedule is. I mean, it was every game is winnable. Every game's winnable, and we've lost 4 straight. And here's the thing too, Steph, you got to think about it. We got 23 and 22-year-olds on this team. Lots of graduates, lots of seniors that are going to be gone. So these are upperclassmen that are 3-4, 0-3 in the conference. You know, and so, you know, you're trying to convince kids, and they're like, hold on, man, that kid right there was a 5-star, and he stayed 5 years, and, you know, he can't even make an open field tackle. I mean, that's what these kids they're looking at, you know.
Well, I won't keep you, but I will make my score prediction tonight, and it is UNC 36, Virginia 27.
UNC 36, Virginia 27. I like it.
And I will be at the game.
That's awesome, Steph. I hope you have a wonderful time, ma'am.
Okay. Talk to you later.
All right. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you. Bye.
Yes, ma'am. Bye. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool to see the ladies in here. I appreciate you, Steph. Thank you very much for the call. Steph's got us winning by 9, man. That's pretty stinking okay if you ask me. We put on 36 points. I will take that all stinking day. 36-27 Carolina from Miss Steph. So that's what we're looking at, man. We got three UNC, and Bobby picked the Cavs. So, hey, check this out, man. I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out, man. We went way longer tonight than I anticipated. I thought it was going to be an hour, and we went about an hour and a half. So, real big shout out to Preston. Real big shout out to my man Hutch, dude. Great conversation. Shout out to Scott, Bobby, Steph. Thank you guys so much for calling in. Remember, $200 that I'm going to send you guys if you get the score prediction right. And I did just find out that I will be live at 12 o'clock on the dot for the Carolina-Virginia game. So you guys make sure you come and hang out with me during the live reaction and watch party, man. And we'll see if Carolina can stink and right this shit, man. Get back at 500, dude. So I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on a Thursday night, man. Hey, 2 more days, baby, and we got Carolina football. And nobody is more excited than your boy. Go Heels. Love you guys. And we'll catch you on the next one, baby.